Guys, a very popular topic is simply the speed of development of a physique. Now, I'll speak from experience here that over the years, there's been times where I've just trained, and then other times of late, especially the last 6 or 7 years, where I've put every single bit of my efforts into creating a physique, a balanced physique, a physique that could be able to step on a stage. And the first time I did still wasn't complete. It's not complete now. So I want to talk about time frame that it kind of takes to get there. Now, I've been training since I was 15 years old. And a lot of you train probably very similarly to how I did in those days. You go to the gym, your nutrition's particularly all right, but you go to the gym so you think that you're actually actively training to build a better body shape. Now, we're not going to say that it's not the case. There are people that are genetically gifted who don't really plan out their nutrition, who train in the gym, and they grow a very, very balanced physique. That's a minority, and that's often the guys that move on to be some of the world's best physique athletes, best bodybuilders, best fitness models in the world. And then there's the day-to-day guys. The day-to-day guys that say that they do everything right, but their body isn't really changing. Well, you can only truly measure the time it takes to build a physique if you have all the pieces of the puzzle in place. And then when you have all the pieces of the puzzle in place, you need to be routine, and you need to be committed, and you need to be dedicated to doing that week in and week out. And then still, you might put all your efforts into chest for 6 months, and your chest changes. And then you might put all your efforts into your back, and your back changes. That's a year. And then you put 6 months into really bringing your quads up, and 6 months into bringing your hamstrings up. That's 2 years. And then you need to think about your arms. Your arms haven't grown at the same rate as your chest and your back, so you have to put another 6 or 7 months into really bringing your arms up. And then you realize that you didn't then put enough effort into your chest, so you then need to spend another 6 months bringing your chest up. The pursuit of excellence is a journey. It's long term. And one thing that you really need to understand is there's no cut-off time with it. There's no, I'm done, I'm finished. For most people, it's a pursuit that's ongoing, and it's a pursuit of looking at lagging body parts or bringing up something that you paid less attention to over a certain period of time. But you've first and foremost got to think of it like this. Your first year of training is simply putting general tissue on. The second year of training is putting more tissue on. But to really grow an appreciable size of a pair of legs, to grow a good back, to grow chest, I mean, guys, you've got to be looking at 5 years commitment as a minimum to really, for the average guy, to create any shape to their physique. I'll tell you now, from the age of 31, 32, right through to where I am now, we're talking 7 years, I'm actually very, very content with the balance of my physique. It's still an ongoing process, but having had various different shoulder injuries and knowing what I know, to now, 7 years down the line of actually bodybuilding, be content with my physique as it is in the off season, means that it's taken that amount of time to create the balance. If it takes you time to build a decent set of shoulders that create the shape that falls into the chest, that gives you definition into your waistline with your lats coming down, all this takes time. So what I really wanted to do with this video was to reassure you that you're not doing things wrong if you've not got your complete physique in 6 months. To reassure you that you don't necessarily have to be jumping on a bodybuilding stage or doing your first photo shoot in the first 18 months. I look back over all my shoots from the last 4 or 5 years, and the first one was just really a proof to myself of where I was then, but in terms of where I am now, it's a million miles away. I can actually see all the imbalances and see what I'd spent more time on and what I'd spent less time on. We're always going to favor areas of our body that are responding quicker, and we're going to do less of the body parts that aren't responding quicker. But in fairness, you need to be doing more of the body parts. Don't forget that you have less knowledge, and so over time, as your knowledge grows, so will the intensity that you can train, so will the variations and programs that you're able to handle, so will the amount of food that your body and digestive system can handle. So it is an iterative process. It is a process over time. And what you have to do in terms of building the ideal physique is know that the minute you say you want a better body shape, you want to build a physique, it's going to be a minimum 5 years plan. Like building a business. When I set up this gym, I knew 4 years ago that it was going to take time. I have a 5 to 6 year business plan. I'm 4 years into that business plan. I know I'm going to reach the goal of where I wanted to at 6 years, but by 5 years I'd have changed the plan to 7 or 8 years. But the most important thing is your first 5 years of what do you want to look like in that time frame? What do you want to see change? And be committed to 6 months to a year and a half of gradually working on those areas to create the physique balance or the complete balance to the physique that you want. So I'll tell you, just to close this video off, minimum of 3 to 5 years of intent, focus, discipline with your nutrition, discipline with your training to get a body shape you're really, really happy with. So stay committed, stay focused, work hard and stick to your diet.